Hello, everybody, and welcome to Collect Them All. It's episode 7.
7?
Yeah, 6 with Bill, 7 in total. If you can believe that.
So only 6 count.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I can't believe it.
The first one is pretty bad. If you go back and want to go retro and check it out, it's pretty bad. But we're getting better. And I just wanted to say, I had 3 words in mind when I found out that I was going to be the one that's opening the show, and that's spring has sprung.
It has?
But it hasn't. Because, that means garage sales.
Oh.
So before we get into that topic, I'm joined here by the voice you normally hear opening the show, but he's
too
going
shy.
into semi-retirement now. We launch these shows, and he decides to quit.
I razzed him too much.
That's why I'm doing this, so bear with me. But Rich Masucci, he is with us.
That's Homer J. Fung to you. Yeah. I'm still here. I'm here for the show, but I think people got a little tired of hearing my voice on the football podcast and then the hockey podcast and every other freaking podcast that we have. So
yeah, I certainly did, because I go back and listen to all these things for my own critique, and I'm sick of hearing your voice.
Yeah. Well, as I'm listening to them all, I'm like, boy, I could do with a whole lot less of me. So Jacob gets the nod tonight.
Yeah, it's fine with me. And then, as always, we're joined by Mr. Bill Seth.
Hello, hello.
Get out.
Hello. So yeah, like I was saying, garage sales. That's the thing I was looking forward to the most now that spring's technically here, but it's a damn, like you said, Bill, a hurricane out there.
You can get blown over to one today.
Snowflakes flying,
Yeah.
40 degrees. It's brutal again. So garage sales will be postponed for another month, I guess. Nobody's going to do their spring cleaning yet. But speaking of shows and garage sales and things like that, that brings me to our guest we have in the garage
sale.
Exactly.
We have a guest on our garage sale.
Mr. James Gulick is with us. He's
hello,
guy in Rome.
Hello.
He can tell us a little about yourself, James.
Well, I'm almost 40 years old, so I'm right at that age where I need to relive my childhood with toys, and more toys.
Wait, have you ever stopped, or?
I didn't start collecting again until maybe late 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
you grew up a little bit.
I grew up a little bit, but then I decided to regress.
Not like us, who were always in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
I was always there. I just didn't have the means in my wallet to make my dreams come true, basically.
We still don't, so that's all right.
Exactly.
That's why none of us have any money. Ever.
Exactly.
At this point, I'm not
Ladies?
sure what money looks like. Yeah.
But yeah, at 40, you're in the same age bracket we all are. I mean, I'll be 45 in a couple months, so we're on the same same path.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, boy.
But no, I did. I used to do a lot of shows. I'm in the process of getting out of the show business.
Oh, you were in show business.
No business like show business.
The dealing toys and different shows and Comic-Cons and everything is just I can't compete with the guys with the big brick and mortar stores.
Yeah, I don't see how anybody really could in this day and age. I
mean, all my inventory came from estate sales, garage sales, finding that really nice piece on clearance during retail.
Right.
So we don't have to compete with you in the area anymore, then, is what you're saying?
Well, I still collect. So I still buy stuff for myself.
So now, when you say you're a dealer outside of like clearance items, like you just mentioned, were you like a vendor? Did you buy direct, wholesale?
Nope, I did. All my inventory would come from estate sales, garage sales, items I was thinning out of my own collection. I'd usually have 4 or 5 giant tote bins that I would bring to a show. I've done the last 3, maybe 4 of those, the shows in Syracuse. I did one out in Oneonta recently, and that was really my downfall, and I said that this was going to be my last show.
Now, is it just, like you said, the competition, or are you just not making enough money, or there's too many other people that are...
Not making enough money. It's not too many people. The show I did in Oneonta is a friend of my wife's that put that on, and they were going to give me exclusive toy vendor rights to the show for next year coming up. but it's just I can't maintain the inventory that I need to make myself viable in the show market.
Right.
With my my limited access. Even going to garage sales every weekend during the summer, it just makes it difficult.
It's a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, if you're trying to just be present at all those shows, just people know who you are. You gotta always be hitting every single one. That means you gotta beat everybody.
Yeah, and otherwise you have an empty table and nobody's coming to it. So,
everyone's always looking for California raisins.
Have plenty of them. I gotta say though, I'm actually kind of a bit surprised to hear, you were having trouble competing with those other stores, because I was over at your house and I was looking at a lot of your inventory, and you have a ton. You have a ton of stuff, not just stuff that you have collected, but stuff that you're trying to sell now.
Yep.
So
when you came over, everything that was out that we were taking a look at, that's inventory that I had for the shows.
Yeah.
And like last summer, that show that was 2 days. The second day, I think I made maybe $20.
Wow.
Everybody was in there. My booth was packed. People looking, but nobody buying.
Kicking tires.
That was Rich. Looky Lou.
And
yeah, I know. I know them.
Don't forget about the bee backers.
Because Looky Loos are fine. I love Looky Loos all day because they stop, they talk, they're interested. But at the end of the day, you got to spend a little bit.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to be able to do that next year, and that's what happened.
I mean, just to kind of set this up for anybody who might be listening, when I went over your house, obviously you had an entire table full of stuff, probably like about maybe 6 or 7 totes.
Yep.
And then you had the floor like lined around the table. There was totes everywhere. Yep. And then we went into the kitchen and you had some more totes in there.
Yeah.
So kind of like
you're a tote dealer.
Yeah.
I am. I have brand new totes. I have used totes. There really isn't a market for vintage totes anymore.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine not.
But it really is crazy. It kind of makes you understand and appreciate what it takes to go into this business and have a legitimate shot.
Oh, yeah.
At succeeding.
And the part that they don't tell you is dealing with New York State, having your tax ID number. I think it's like doing a return every 3 months.
Yeah, quarterly.
Yeah, quarterly. Yeah. So it's that's not fun. And then you have a quarter where you're reporting that you made $40 bucks profit, and New York State wants their cut of that $40. So
how did you decide? Like, I mean, obviously you started collecting a long time ago. You have all these totes. How did you decide? Like, you're taking a look at everything you own. And you're like, you know what? I think this is the point where I'm just going to start becoming a dealer and doing these shows.
Like every collector, space is limited. Mm-hmm. You gotta make the hard choices.
Right.
It's you look at I'm collecting this line. I'm collecting 10 different lines. I don't have room for 10 different lines. It's like when the 6-inch Black Series Star Wars stuff came out, I made a decision after maybe the third wave of those that I wasn't going to collect the 3 3/4 in Star Wars anymore.
Right on.
Of any line.
Well, no, I've got a few 3 3/4 that I still do.
Of Black Series or like
no, Star Wars.
Collection?
I've got a few vintage Star Wars that I still have.
Now you're speaking my language.
I've got all the bounty hunters, and just some key people that I enjoy.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't have any modern 3 3/4 in Star Wars anymore.
So is that what you mostly deal in? Is modern stuff? You collect?
I sell both.
Okay.
A lot of the vintage stuff I end up keeping myself. I'm currently trying to finish my my vintage 3 3/4 Flash Gordon. I only need maybe a couple more of those. And I start vintage wise. I just started looking for Inhumanoids.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah. Those guys, but the big monsters, you're looking for big money on some of those big monsters from the Inhumanoids.
It's understandable when you mention that too. When you say all collectors have to deal with it, it's the hard choice of what you're going to collect and what you're going to keep and the space that you have. And I know Rich has made that hard choice.
Oh yeah.
His choice was to sleep on the lawn just to make more room.
I know before the show we started, James, that he gave you the tour of the house, and his collection is quite extensive. And You haven't seen anything either, really, I don't think.
Well, let me just say, that I was over his house like we all just talked about, and he's got the same problem as I do.
Yeah, Rich sent me those pictures of your collection. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and my wife will attest to it. I've got my room, my office, that is, I think every inch of wall space is pretty much covered with shelves and mint on card things that I've hung on the wall.
But was there a ton of like a DC, was it Green Lantern? Yeah, there's a ton of Green Lantern.
I have Green Lanterns has been my guy for a long time.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, those are cool figures too, all the aliens and it's a good line.
Yeah. The only thing that came out of the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie were the figures.
Yeah. That was on the other night, and
I'm sorry.
I watched about 5 seconds of that.
Yeah. That's a tough one to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah, they the best part about those figures was that each one came with a piece of the Parallax giant yellow creature that came from the end of the movie.
That's
which is a great piece. And I told these guys when I got home, I said, holy crap, I never ever appreciated the Green Lantern toys until I saw those.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, whoa, that actually somehow I got interested all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He's going to start a new collection.
Damn right.
Yep.
It even came with a tiny in-scale Green Lantern, all green and glowy, that you hook to the hand of the big giant creature to give it a sense of scale.
I noticed when I was over there too, you had the Hall of Justice.
Yes.
That was really nice. Not the vintage one, but
right.
the new one from...
Oh, I've never seen that.
The Young Justice figures, I think they had 2 seasons of the cartoon.
Yep.
They released figures that were vintage Star Wars articulation, so nothing special, just simple articulation. But each one came with a piece to make the facade of the Hall of Justice.
Oh, cool.
And then the cartoon tanked. The last wave of figures didn't make it to retail. So to finish my Hall of Justice facade, I had to go eBay. And
shocking, right?
That's always fun.
Yeah, they were about a figure, and just to finish my Hall of Justice, but it's gorgeous.
I came home, and that's the first thing I did after I left your house. I went, I should have that Hall of Justice. So I went on eBay, I started pricing it, I went, holy shit, maybe I won't own that Hall of Justice.
I will say, knock on wood, I got really lucky and found them all in retail, except for the last wave. So it was like the last 3 pieces.
Wow. I'm sorry. Is that's your kind of that's your go-to line, or is because you had a lot of the Star Wars and the wrestlers too?
Yeah, my new obsession is WWE Elite style wrestling figures, but I only collect the vintage guys.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they've got there's a lot of modern wrestlers that I enjoy, but it's just for the figure wise, it's got to be somebody old,
right?
From the 80s and early 90s. I usually don't go anybody after 95.
Preferably dead.
That helps. I usually keep those in package.
Right.
But, no, 95 is usually my cutoff, depending on if it's, somebody I really enjoyed.
Sure. And I took a bunch of photos that day, too, mm-hmm. So we're going to post those on with these, with this podcast. And
with your address and phone number.
Yeah. If anybody wants those, just stop by, preferably when you're not home.
Yeah, your work schedule, so they know when you're not home.
That's fine. There you go. Yeah, no worries. That works. Yeah.
Speaking of that, it's funny that you have totes of these things, all different lines, I'd assume, right?
Yep.
And you're not going to be doing shows anymore. So where's your avenue to sell this stuff? Are you using
Facebook,
Instagram?
Right now I've got a Craigslist ad, and I think that's how Rich found me.
Yep.
And I'm once I get hopefully get a little more business from the Craigslist ad. I just updated the pictures for that ad and what's left, and then I might start putting individual items on maybe Facebook and eBay's my last resort. I don't want to pay that.
Outrageous fee.
Yeah,
because there are quite a few decent groups to sell in and trade in and on Facebook.
I do a lot of trading in Facebook groups.
Okay.
Knock on wood again. I've had really, really good luck with trading with people.
Yeah, you never really know.
You don't. You don't in those Facebook groups. So it helps. A lot of the groups I belong to, they have plus and minus lists.
Right, yeah, sure. Like like for the Star Wars groups, it's the Bounty Hunter Forum and things like that.
Yeah, so you can see if they've hosed anybody or if they've they're on a watch list or if they've messed with anybody else. But luckily, I've had pretty good luck.
Yeah, I'm always a little skeptical of the the whole trading thing.
I won't do it.
Oh, no.
Personally, I won't.
You have to be skeptical.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like a low dollar item, like, okay, whatever. But they're like, oh, I'll trade you this blue snaggletooth for this yak face. I'm like,
oh, no.
Okay, who's going to shoot first here? And like, some people put down like, money through PayPal exchange, just kind of like a safety net. But still, it's like, it's a pain to me to trade. I just rather just buy it outright and not deal with the worry or stress.
Yeah, you're right. And then the way I look at it is if they're willing to put up the money in the trade, just put up the money.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But even with people putting up payments on PayPal, you got to be careful because they can go back to PayPal and say, oh, that was a fraudulent charge.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I've got a buddy that does shows in Ohio, and he just did a show recently, and it turns out that he takes credit cards at the show.
Like the Square or whatever he uses.
Yeah,
like
Square. And they went back the next day. The person went next day and filed a grievance with their credit card company saying it was a fraudulent charge. But what he does is every time he does a credit card transaction, he takes a picture of them.
Okay. That's smart.
Yeah. So there's no way they can dispute the charge.
That person
smart.
was there with their card making the purchase. And so he's just waiting to hear back now because that money there's a hold for that amount of money on his
And so
account.
even if he does get the money, that's still a huge pain in the ass to go through that. Yeah, because all of a sudden your money's on hold and you're like, yeah, forget that.
This segment potentially brought to you by Square, depending on the outcome of that case.
And going back to the shows, like, when you decide you're going to be a dealer, to me it seems like everybody's jumping in this game. And after like a few months of just like you said, like hitting garage sales, estate sales, whatever, it seems like so many people are like, okay, I'm going to set up a table, which turns into I'm going to be a dealer. I just feel like every collector is now a dealer. That's just the way I see it. I don't know. I feel like it's completely bogged down, and I think that hurts sales too.
Yeah.
Because like everybody's trying to sell, but we're all the buyers, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree with you. The market is saturated, and you see that at the shows, 100%.
And it basically winds up being all the dealers like trading pieces. Like, okay, I found this, and so who's making any money here?
Mark Zyla. I think he's doing okay. But he works a full-time job, so that he does this still on the side. But that I mentioned him only because I realized that you actually sold some items to Mark.
Yep. Yeah, I had a whole, maybe a box and a half of vintage G.I. Joe shells, vehicle parts, figure parts. I had the oil platform. It was almost complete. And he found me on Craigslist and ended up buying it all.
Yeah, Mark's a mutual friend. Obviously, he's a great friend of mine. Give him a little shout out to, he's the godfather of my son. He's been a friend for 30 years, ex-roommate,
Lover?
No, not yet. They're still, we're both still young.
Yeah. Used to be a good friend of me till he bought that damn platform. No, I'm kidding. He's
right out from under your nose.
Yeah, a very good friend of mine.
He's a friend of the show that doesn't listen to the show, probably. Probably never hear what we just said. I'll tell him, but he'll still never probably have heard it.
Jake, kind of going with the show thing, you just went to a show. You went to the Baltimore show.
Yeah, I for work, my employer, Mohawk Arms, does a gun show in Baltimore every year, and he's getting older, so I figured I'd help him out, mainly because I'm not that great of a person. Right. But I'm an okay person, but I saw there was a toy show on the same ground, so I figured, I'll go. I'll help you out. And
real martyr over here.
Employee of the year.
Bleeding for the cause.
Yep. But I figured, too, it'd be, a little bit of research for the show, because I don't really get out to shows very often. I'll do some garage sailing and things like that, but shows, it was reaffirmed for me why I don't go to shows is the prices I saw and the reproduction stuff. And it was just a fun little show, but it was just a minefield of garbage, And then, like we were just talking about it, that everybody is a dealer, Bill, right?
Everyone.
Well, that's what it seemed like. Some people were there having a garage sale, it was like just piles of stuff on their table and shit, literally. Yeah. I found a couple things for myself, but, for example, picked up a blue snaggletooth there. I didn't buy it. I picked it up in my hand. And I said, how much for the snaggletooth? $3.25. So I'm like,
that's that's top dollar.
Where do you go from there? What do you haggle at $250, and then you're still stuck at $250, and you might get rid of it for $300, But I don't know. The prices were high, and the funniest thing I saw was recards.
Oh, I don't even want to. Recards are horrible.
They're a plague but this was the worst I've ever seen. It was Endor Luke, the Jedi Luke with the helmet and the poncho. Well, it didn't have the coin, and he also didn't have his poncho on in the card. Inside the bubble, he had no poncho, no weapon.
It's a variant.
Just the bare figure.
Yeah, limited edition.
Why would you recard an incomplete figure? Oh, that's horrible.
Just and you know what I didn't even ask what they want for it, because what's the point?
Because you would pay his price. Doesn't matter.
Take my money, as they say.
Oh my God, I gotta have that.
But why do you want to start an argument with these people? You know what I mean? So I snapped a picture of it, but it's just brutal. And then Princess Leia, pink, yellowed, full cape, probably a reproduction because it was gleaming white, and on a nice Star Wars.
The figure was yellow, but the cape was gleaming white.
What sucks is some poor
grandmother.
Kid. Someone's parents are like, "Oh, this is a nice piece." They're going to buy it. They're going to waste their money on it, and then that just gets recirculated around. And you're like,
people with an eye that are collectors, obviously, you could see it. You could see it a mile away. But if you were a dealer, why would you even sell that at your table?
It's also tough going to those shows. Like I said, we went to that one last summer or whatever in Syracuse, the one that you said trouble selling stuff at, and. Remember that one guy, Rich, that had a bunch of, just a ton of Star Wars stuff, and I hit him up a couple times. I know you did. Mm-hmm. And, he's got a lot of figures, and he was just, gassing me up about these toys. And, some were dirty, some were beat, some were nice, but he was just gassing up every figure, acting like I didn't know anything. And, I started saying, hey, this goes with this. You can make a little bit more off this figure. I'm trying to help this out, just to get a little deal, maybe, cut me a break on something I want. If I'm saying, hey, you want to make a little bit more money, price it like this. But the whole time, even as I was helping him, he's just looking at me like I'm some newbie on the block who's never even seen toys. And it's just to me, it's so frustrating. It's just you know what? It just puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, he was looking at you like this was a pissing contest, really.
More or less. I'm like, what?
Everything that you would say, you'd be like, oh yeah, that actually goes with him. Well, that did come with that, but only in this packaging. Dude, I'm trying to help you. You've got 5 different things here. They're not together. I thought maybe I could be a pal and pair that up. And he was like, oh, okay.
Just from you two talking, I know exactly who you're talking about. Just so you know.
James Gulick is his name?
And then, Rich, you passed up that cantina that guy was practically giving away.
Were you set up at that show last year?
I was.
The best part about it, the reason I went, was the Batmobile, the 1966 Batmobile. I had to get a picture taken.
Jacob thought he was going to drive it away. And
this isn't for sale.
It was actually up for auction not too long ago, that same Batmobile,
yeah. That same show, there was I'd say, around 65-year-old man dressed as the
classic
the
Batman?
Classic
Batman.
That guy was awesome.
Belly, I got a picture of him.
He's awesome. He's been, I've seen him at a bunch of shows. He's great.
That's going to be me in 10 years.
10?
4.
Today.
Once.
Tomorrow. I'm not going to be 60 tomorrow, but I got the physique.
Have spandex, will travel.
That's right.
Can't be me tonight. I don't own the costume.
So you got to have
do I?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to have some funny stories about maybe jealous dealers, lowball offers, grandma hagglers, okay. You got to have some pretty funny stories in the back of your mind.
The worst is when you've spent hours and hours preparing things for shows, pricing things, putting everything on the tables meticulously, and your best seller is your dollar box on the floor in front of the table.
Yeah.
I'm definitely that dollar box. Yeah.
The dollar box and the box of Matchbox cars I got hosed on that I'm just trying to get rid of for 50 cents a piece.
Nice.
I'll never buy another Matchbox car in my life. I knew nothing about them. I found somebody selling a whole bunch of them on Let Go. I met the person. I'm looking at the Matchbox cars. I'm looking at the years on the bottom of the cars. I'm like, these are old and awesome. And then I find out that you can't go by the years because they use the same mold.
Oh yeah, over and over.
You got to go by the line
the
on
red
the
line,
tire,
yeah.
and I'm like, no, thank you, no, thank you.
I see a lot of people do that with like they'll post stuff like for sale Snoopy, for example, or Looney Tunes, and they'll say, "Oh, these are really old." It says on the side of it, 1933. This is 1946. It's like, yeah, but that's like the copyright year.
And then right above it says like 1988, and then 1993. Like, yeah, look harder.
It's absolutely pristine. Yeah, it's from 1933. It's made of plastic.
I just found it at the Hallmark store today.
Speaking of Looney Tunes, that's actually the only things I bought down at that Baltimore show was the Looney Tunes TV tray. Remember the old TV trays? And then a Wile E. Coyote stuffed animal.
Jacob's trying to get tetanus when he's eating his lunch.
That's right.
He's got bed bugs in the coyote.
Is that rust or sauce?
Well, like I said, by my physique, I just need that to sit when I sit in front of the TV, like when I was a little kid.
Yeah. You know, before I forget, we had to talk about this tonight. I just said bed bugs. Did you guys see there was a listing on eBay 2 days ago? Yes.
Oh, was that the one you shared?
Yeah, it was a Godzilla, the Toho Godzilla, and somebody had a cockroach crawling up the freaking arm of it, and you would think like everybody started pointing it out, and they were like, "Oh, dude, there's a roach crawling up your Godzilla's arm there." Instead of taking down the picture, he instead wrote an explanation that says, "Please note,
this is the roach from WALL-E."
He said, like, some eagle-eyed viewers happen to notice the bug crawling up the arm, and that's because we're having bug spray right now, and these things are crawling out of the woodwork.
Oh.
Probably not going to make me spend any more money.
Yeah.
Wow.
If there's one crawling on the outside, how many dead ones are on the inside?
Exactly. The arm comes off. I can tell you that it's probably filled with eggs.
They sprayed it with the house.
It should be fine. And if it's not, it's your problem now.
I clicked that link and I saw it was up to over $100, wasn't it?
I think it ended at
You always wanted one, Jacob. Now's your chance to get one cheap.
Yep.
Wow. I'll still have to pass on that one.
I don't understand.
I only like certain kind of roaches.
Leave it outside for 10 years. It should be all right after that.
He even comes with his own little enemy.
Roach, he's from Monster Island.
Radiation not included.
So, someday I will own that Godzilla, but not this day.
And someday that roach.
Like I said, I only like certain types of roaches.
They kept the Godzilla. I heard they're going to relist the roach.
I think I read somewhere that if you cut the head off a roach, it can actually live for quite a long period of time with no head, and it dies from suffocation.
True story.
That's disgusting.
Like I'm an expert on roaches. Oh yeah, that's legit. That's true.
I should collect them.
I do know that when I was when I lived in California, we had roaches in there. They had the little palmetto bugs. They're all over the damn place. And because we were also dirty people, we were a bunch of kids. We didn't clean anything. Had a garbage problem where we didn't pick up beer bottles everywhere. And there was a roach, and my neighbor, my roommate decided he was going to try to kill it. He tried to step on it, couldn't kill it. So, being like the typical 19-year-old kid, he threw it in our microwave. We're like, oh my God, that's the most disgusting thing ever. And he microwaved it, and when he took it out, it was still alive.
It was bigger and meaner.
When he took it out, it was a Godzilla enemy.
California's full of roaches. I remember when I lived out in San Francisco, I was taking a shower, and I had my window open. And I'm taking a shower, and for whatever reason, I just, peeked out to make sure, my cat was all right or whatever. And there was, no screen on it. And all of a sudden, I saw this little roach head peeking in the window, and he was about to crawl in. I was like, no! So I jump out of the shower. I basically slip all over the place because I'm all wet. The roach made it down, plopped down, and went right underneath the sink. And I was like,
perfect.
Oh, great.
Listen, I don't.
And it wasn't like it was a city roach, not like these little teeny backwoods roaches. Like you gotta get a handgun to shoot those suckers.
A city roach probably had a handgun.
He probably did. Came strapped, son.
Some people have those roaches because they can't help it. They get in the house. I believe that one on that Godzilla was because his house was filthy. If you look at the pictures of that Godzilla, you look at the carpet in the background. God help us all. There was a cure for cancer in that carpet. There's no doubt about it.
This segment of my Garage Bar Collect Them All is brought to you by Raid. Speaking of that segment, I think that's going to be it for this segment. We're going to take a little break here. And when we come back, we're going to talk to James a little bit more about some Kickstarter toys that he brought over. He's funded a Kickstarter, and they're pretty cool, actually. So we'll come back and talk about those. See you in a minute.
I'm disappointed in you, William.
I am disappointed.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're having too much fun in the break, so we figured we'd share it with you guys. So
you thought we were friends.
Not anymore. I can't believe you did that.
I'll shine a little light on what's happening here. Shelves have been unearthed and treasure troves of items have been put back onto the shelves that were squirreled away from years past.
I had stuff squirreled away at Toys R Us.
Waiting for his big discount day at Toys R Us.
That's damn right. And
which is
7
on the horizon
cents.
now. Which is on the horizon now.
It's on the horizon. This stuff's been there for like a year and a half, and I just found out that Mr. William Seth were here.
Yeah, it was a quiet day, and I decided, let's see who's hid what over the years at Toys R Us. And I pretty much unearthed about 18 of those bottom row shelves.
You ruined Christmas is really what you
I
did.
found some, McFarlane sports characters, a bunch of NECA stuff, ton of Star Wars, Black Series exclusives. I found those, retro, like DC, like Mego figures. Remember they made those? Like Wonder Woman, Flash.
Yeah, those aren't mine.
I was like, oh, these are cool. They were basically melded to the floor. I went to pick them up, and I couldn't even get the card back off the floor
Who
part
this to the floor?
because it'd been in there so long from like the heat and whatever dust and grime. It just like fused together. So I went to pull up the Wonder Woman one, and it just broke off the bubble. And the figure went flying.
Great.
But there's literally so much stuff under there.
Of course there is.
Did you buy any of it, Bill?
No, I put actually a lot of it on the shelf, and I said, whoever hid this and kiss my ass, and lo and behold, it was apparently Rich.
Son of a bitch. What did you find from the NECA stuff? I just went through. Did you find newer stuff too?
Well, most of it was Alien stuff, Alien Predator stuff.
That's what I hid. God.
I didn't take all of it out of there.
All I can picture, I look at Rich angry right now, and all I can picture is that squirrel from Ice Age with the acorn.
Listen, that represents a
And
lot of work.
Bill is the person that's pulling the acorn away constantly.
Well, let's shine a quick story on this, because a few years back, when we were hiding some stuff, and we went to unearth some of it, Rich found a Darth Malgus figure that was zeroed out for like a penny or something. So we go up to the register. He goes, he's like, what do I want this for? You want it? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll buy that for a penny. He goes, nope, I'm going to buy it. So ever since then, I was like, you know what, Rich? Go screw yourself.
Oh, so there's history.
Oh, there's history. There's history.
Context is key.
Maybe if you run over there now, you might not find any of them.
So we're going to have to take a short break.
Actually, we can't all take a break. You guys are going to have to stay here. I can't have him find any more of my stuff over there.
This segment.
Did you take the alien stuff out?
Rich was looking at the clock. He's like, oh, what time is it?
They close at 9. I got to get done with the show. Hurry. You found the alien. Did you put that stuff back on the shelf?
No, the alien stuff I didn't bother with.
Then it's still there?
Well, maybe. Because I'm sure the employees all saw me what I was doing, so who knows?
Yeah, they're on the freaking cameras watching you going, I just saw somebody else do this, but they were putting this stuff in.
Why does everyone keep bringing stuff up that's only a penny?
Did you buy any of it?
No.
Bullshit.
I didn't. The ones I wanted were fused to the goddamn floor. I couldn't get them.
You stole my stuff?
This is why Toys R Us is closing.
So what do you?
Their entire inventory is under the floor.
What do you estimate the years that those are from? Are they from a couple years ago? Toy Biz.
No, honestly, the some of the DC stuff was maybe 4, heading towards 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, when I pulled that tall man from Phantasm that I hid, I'm like a squirrel. I go hide something. I don't remember where I put it, or even if I did. So, I was like, I think I hid some of those under here. And at some point in time, I look up, like, there's Twilight Zone figures I hid from like 2 years ago. I forgot all about those. And then they had the tall man. That was at least 3 years old, so, the card becomes kind of yellowed from being like under that bin from all the heat and dust, but whatever. For a penny, it's better than $20.
At this point, I doubt the employees even care.
No, they definitely don't, because Rich unearthed some stuff a couple of weeks ago and went up and played dumb and was like, these are ringing up a penny. I don't know. I've only done this
4,000 times.
Yeah, exactly. With this particular employee.
I said, hey, he goes, I can't sell you this. This stuff is supposed to be out of inventory. I'm not even allowed to sell it. And I said, well.
It rang up, didn't it?
I said, what's going to happen with it?
Customer's always right.
The store is closing, isn't it? And the guy goes, yeah, we just found out we're all losing our jobs. I don't even care.
Here's 2 pennies for your trouble.
Keep the
change. They did. They rang up 3 cents a piece, and then New York State had to get their penny in there too. So 7 cents for the big sale.
Just remember Darth Malgus next time you're looking for your hidden stuff.
I better find that stuff, Seth. It better be there. Son of a bitch.
Well, there's no easy way to segue into this, because none of this stuff I don't think you can find on shelves that we're going to talk about now. I'm looking at some pretty interesting action figures. I'm going to let James, who's still with us, talk about this stuff. It's a Kickstarter, I guess, and I'm not too familiar with this, so I'm going to just let him go. And
well, the company that does these is called Boss Fight Studios, and they've got a series of figures called Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S.
They're cool for sure. We'll be putting pictures of these on the website.
Their first series they did a Kickstarter for maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was Roman gladiator, Greek mythology type inspired figures. The 3 3/4 inch, super articulated, accessories all come apart. They're interchangeable. There's I can't remember what they call the system, but they're like the old vintage G.I. Joes. They've got a screw in the back.
Yeah.
You can undo the screw, and you can swap out parts between the different figures. They've got Gorgon, like Medusa type figures with completely articulated tail bodies that are just absolutely
Let me see this guy.
amazing.
They actually, when I first saw those, they almost remind me of like 300, the movie 300.
Yep, 300, Clash of the Titans type stuff. Yeah,
and they're almost about the size, like the scale. They could possibly go with remember the Kevin Sorbo Hercules.
Yeah.
They could.
I'm trying to forget those figures.
They could go with
I prefer the Xena, but
or Xena, yeah. You could all go with it. So.
Yeah, so looking at that's pretty cool. I'm looking at this right now. I like the skeleton figures for sure. They're really cool, and to have them interchangeable, that makes them even better. I didn't realize that when I was looking at them earlier.
They also have accessory sets with armor and weapons and shields. They have sticker sheets, so you can customize the shields.
Oh, wow,
round
cool.
stickers that they printed. The different colors, different decors. They sell blank figures, so you can paint your own.
Yeah, I like that aspect too. That's pretty cool. I like that you can do
the
that.
skeletons are great too because they've actually engineered these clear pieces that clip onto the skeletons so that the armor pieces aren't loose on the skeletons.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So you can use the same armor pieces from a human figure to a skeleton, and it's virtually indistinguishable that they've got this little clear piece in there.
So this is Kickstarter, right?
Well, this was a Kickstarter
about
a year and a half ago, but they sell on their website, Boss Fight Studios. They still sell the individual Roman Greek figures.
So you can still get some.
You can still get them. Yes, they actually just started their second series, which is a fantasy wave. So orcs, knights,
we'll
elves.
We'll give these guys some love too. We'll post a link up to their store right on our website.
They're based in Jersey, so they do.
Oh, cool! Even better.
Yeah, they do a lot of the New Jersey shows.
New Jersey's a great place.
They actually
says nobody.
Kissler word stinks. Take it to Jersey.
But
we'll promote this place in Jersey for sure.
They even come out with exclusive figures for the big New Jersey Comic-Con.
Okay,
each
cool.
year. Yeah.
That's what, the Northeast or something like that is called? I
don't
can't remember
exactly. I'd have to look it up
to
see exactly. But the second wave or second series of figures, which is the fantasy, is on there. They just started releasing the second wave of those figures.
Now, these are available, you said, what's the price point on them?
I'm pretty sure that the deluxe figures that are in the collector's package, like the skeleton and we're gonna have pictures of these up there. I'm pretty sure they're between $25 and $30, so a little on the expensive side for a 3 3/4-inch figure. But with all the accessories that you're getting and the interchangeable
and the details,
details
this is definitely worth that price. That Medusa's insane.
Yeah, that's cool.
They have the Medusa that I have here is obviously the snakes in the hair, snake tail body that everybody's used to. But in that series, they also have a pre-Curse Medusa figure.
Oh, that's
really?
Cool.
Because they have a storyline that they've created for all these figures, where on the back of the packages they have the temporal log, and their third series that they have planned is going to be like a retro, futuristic, Flash Gordon-y, Buck Rogers type look.
Yeah, like cyborgs and stuff like that.
Cyborgs and the people and everything, and that's going to be their time travelers that have to deal with all of these out of time characters that they've made for the other waves.
Just a nice way to have everybody battle each other.
Exactly. Exactly.
And but I know my son would love these figures when I'm looking at the skeletons and they're great.
And they have blank skeletons too, where they're white. There's glowing, this green one glows in the dark. And then they have other glow in the dark figures, glow in the dark accessory packs. They've got a Kickstarter on right now for horses to go with these.
Oh, that's crazy.
These figures, and they have the Bucky O'Hare license.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
So they did a Bucky O'Hare Kickstarter, and for those first figures, the first waves are actually available on their website too.
That's pretty cool.
They're gorgeous.
It's interesting too. A little small company doing it the way the technology's allowing it, and the new era of doing business and getting things to market. And then you have a huge company like Hasbro now doing Kickstarters.
Yeah, doing the sail barge from Star Wars.
The what?
4 foot long.
4 foot long. Ask Mr. Seth down there.
Did you unearth that from one of the underneath the Toys R Us shelf there?
Yeah. You take that from me too?
I think it's bigger than most of the Toys R Us shelves.
Yeah, I think so. And Bill, did you buy it?
I did. I did back the barge. I didn't want to initially. That was a tricky one because it's Hasbro and it's not a company that I'm wowed by all their products. They'll either have something fantastic or it'll just be a complete dud, shooting Nerf darts or something embarrassing. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is one of the ships I always wanted as a kid. And they really kind of spiced up the sale when they added that yak face carded with the coin. It's okay, now you're really trying to grab people. The Clad 2, the exclusive Jabba. Then they posted a video how many figures they can put in. It was something like 250 figures fit in that barge. Yeah, it's crazy. It's huge. But a lot of people, nobody wanted to spend $500 on something that might not be made. So once it passed the 5,000 mark and this was a go, I was like, oh boy. Then it was 4 days left. And then my friend Kyle Lynch sent me a message through Facebook Messenger. He goes, I just backed the barge. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
Nope.
And I was like, okay. I didn't have the cash for it, so I just, threw it on a charge. And worst case scenario, once this arrives home, if I don't like it, obviously this is going to be a great flipping piece, which everyone obviously knows that you can piece out the yak face or the Clad 2 or just sell the barge. And there's going to be people fetch easily $1,200-$1,500 for this thing.
If everybody jumped off a bridge, would you do it, Bill?
Yeah, well, and so would Brandon, because our guest last time, Brandon, when I sent him the message, like, I backed it, he goes, yep, I just did too. There you go.
Did you really? Simpatico.
Yeah.
Well, I think Sunday when I saw it, they were 530 over their 5,000 that they needed, and that was Sunday.
Brandon asked me, he's like, what do you think that's going to land at? I said, I think probably about 8,100. I was close. I think it ended at like 86 or 8,700. So
I didn't buy it.
8,700 total pieces made?
Yeah. That's quite a bit. They raked in a ton of cash on
Well,
this.
I don't know. Are they going to just make enough for the pre-orders?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Are they going to round it off to a nice 10,000?
Nope, that's it. They're making it to order and never, ever released again. They promised this would never be released again. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to. If I have a bug in my ass a year from now, I'm not spending 1,000, or more on this thing.
Now, are you going to put a mattress on top of it and just sleep on that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Sleep in the bar.
I'll bring it to Rich's backyard here where he sleeps outside.
you can park it right next to me. It'll be great.
Now, I'm trying to remember the exact measurements, but is this going to give the Joe Carrier a run for its money for the largest?
No, I think this is 4 foot, right?
Yeah, I think that Carrier's
Joe's
still
is
bigger.
7. Yeah.
The flag is 7 feet long?
Yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
I think the deck is 7. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Who the hell has space for that?
But, now, like you're saying, like speculation, is that's going to be Hasbro's model now that obviously Toys R Us is going to be gone, so it's one of their biggest, I guess, faces.
I think it's odd that a company that size has to do a Kickstarter. I mean, they're struggling that bad with ideas that they have to.
Well, they put out such lackluster stuff. Like, I mean, look at the last, what is it? I don't know what it's called. The ad for Rogue
with
One.
The orange middle section.
Yeah, they had one on display at Toys R Us, and admittedly, it was actually a pretty cool piece. It was fun. It was nice, but you wouldn't know that looking at the box. But the price tag was what, $300 initially? I'm like, that's too much for an ad that's subpar to the legacy or vintage collection one they released, in like 2010. So you're spending more money for a lesser vehicle. So of course they're not moving.
I actually bought that on Amazon when they had like the Star Wars
flash sale,
$50.
Yeah, I missed that. I saw that one. I was like, ugh.
I showed it to my son. I said, "Hey, do you want this?" He said, "Oh, that's cool." And then he never said anything about it. It sat in my living room for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And then finally I said to him, one day, "Hey, do you still want this thing?" He's like, because we already have the Legacy one, so it's just another one.
The Legacy one's gorgeous anyway.
So, I ended up just reselling it. I didn't even keep it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when that barge comes in, I'm going to look at the size. I'm like, I don't have the space for this. I'll probably just resell it, keep the yak face, and call
I've
it a
seen on, the interwebs that people are taking the vintage or the Legacy collection Millennium Falcon and making coffee tables out of them.
Really?
Like they'll have the coffee table, rectangular coffee table with a plexiglass top with the vintage collection Millennium Falcon in it, all lit up and everything.
Yeah, I've seen that also with the Ultimate Collector Series Lego of
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon.
and that's
Same
the thing,
style.
Like, that Falcon is so good. It's like they're never going to top it. So now I think they're afraid to make these big vehicles, and like they're just going to sit on the shelves or whatever. So I mean, I sort of see what Hasbro's doing, but at the same time, I don't know. It seems like a shifty move for a huge company.
It also seems like a lack of confidence in themselves too. I mean, you're like, if you have an idea, put it out. Well, you don't have to ask if do we think it's a good idea?
Look what happened with the 6-inch Black Series speeders. They came out. They were $60 initially.
Oh, the Luke's Land Speeder,
Luke's and Ray's, yeah. And I got them on Walmart on clearance for $15.
Yeah, that's where I got my $15. That honestly, I would say the Land Speeder was very nice. The right price for that, it's like $30 max, honestly.
Yeah, nowhere.
And that, like, whatever that hot dog that Ray rides or whatever that thing is.
Hot dog.
It's a kielbasa, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know what that thing is. $5?
The brat.
Top price? I mean,
the only reason I got that was 15. I got it for $15.
Yeah.
I couldn't even pay $15 for that.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, now that they're doing that sail barge, doesn't that kind of open it up to do some of the other big vehicles?
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like a Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
The medical frigate. Where's the medical frigate? I want that.
No doubt about it. Or I mean, Star Killer. They got to do something with that.
Excuse me?
Star Killer.
Rebel Transport.
You talking about Vader's Apprentice? From the video game Star Killer?
I want more play sets. So, I mean, if they had, a fundraiser for like Jabba's Palace or the Echo Base, because they don't make play sets anymore. And Hasbro was definitely like, we're not doing play sets anymore because nobody buys play sets. But you have all these figures. Yeah, and some vehicles are like, what do you, you know,
what's funny, who did do play sets is Mattel with their Hot Wheels Starships. They put out little play sets that you could play with.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need play sets, man.
The last couple seasons of the Masters of the Universe Classics figures, they said that we're not going to do another series if we don't get enough pre-orders. So it's kind of like a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
If you're holding the wave.
It just seems odd to me. I just remember seeing toys appear in the store, like, things that I never heard of before, like Brave Star and things like that. And now it's just like, we might put this out.
Well, it sucks too, because if you're not on the internet all the time, you might go a few months like, oh shit, I didn't know they were even offering this. Like you're saying, like the Masters of the Universe, I didn't know that they were doing like those Filmation versions until I missed out in the first wave, and I'm like, I definitely would have jumped in on that.
Absolutely.
Those are freaking killer. Like the Horde Act they did for some Filmation, I missed that one too. It's like,
yeah, the Filmation ones look great.
Spot on.
If you weren't part of it, because that was one of the waves where if we don't get enough pre-orders, we're not going to make them.
Yeah. So, and it's like, what? Those are made to order too, right?
Yeah. I think there's some aftermarket ones, like back when I'd say in the middle of the height of the Masters Universe Classics, you could find some of them at like Big Lots. They weren't popular ones, obviously,
right.
But
the dud characters that nobody wants.
Exactly. The filler ones.
Yeah.
But they were $5 at Big Lots, so they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the trend, especially now seeing like I said, the sectors. I think there's going to be a lot of different lines. They'll at least resurrect, Bucky O'Hara. I mean, come on, like.
Well, it's these
so obscure.
Bring me the flaming carrots.
It's these niche lines that they know they're going to be popular with the adult collectors. That they're willing to take a chance on. A lot of especially these smaller companies. I think it's less likely that a big company like Hasbro or Mattel is going to take a chance on resurrecting an old line.
Sure. Right. But you know what they should have done with the barge? And I think they would have sold twice as many as what Sideshow does, and gives people the chance to do like a payment plan, like $100 a month. That was a huge chunk of money.
Yeah. I
mean, if it was $100 a month, 1,000 more people would have jumped on that.
The Bradford exchange plan.
$36.75 a month.
Well, that's the only reason I have any Hot Toys figures. Those are all on, the payment plan. I can't dump $300 or $400.
No way.
That's crazy.
Well, if that's the way of the future, I like these guys. These toys that you brought over are pretty wild, man. The Kickstarter route. If you want to check it out, Boss Fight Studio. You can go to bossfightshop.com. Pretty cool.
Pretty good stuff. Before we wrap it up with you, man, I wanted to ask you some of the stuff when I was looking around your house there. I saw the Ring Wraith.
Yes.
From Knickerbocker.
That is my the best garage sale find.
Get out of here! That's a garage sale find.
Garage sale.
Jesus.
Maybe about 2 years ago, 3 at the most. I was at a garage sale up on 233 between New Hartford and Rome. A guy had a medium-sized box of vintage Star Wars and G.I. Joe. I noticed the vintage G.I. Joe fighter and plane, and then an X-wing sticking out. It was the first ones there. I said, "How much you want for the box?" He goes, "Give me 30 for the box." I said, "Okay, 30 for the box."
No brainer, no doubt.
I went to a couple more garage sales. Didn't even think I didn't even look through the box. So later that day, I get home and I'm going through the box, and that's where I had gotten the almost complete oil platform, G.I. Joe oil platform. The Sky Striker was beat up. I had to soak it in Goo Gone and to get it back to where I needed it to be, and it looked great. But at the bottom, there was this little black axe, a little black plastic sword, and then this little 3 3/4 inch, maybe a little bit bigger black figure with red eyes and 2 horns sticking off his head with a belt on. And I'm like, what the hell is this thing? And because I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and my brother-in-law, who's a collector too, we ended up scouring the internet just looking for black action figure with red eyes.
I wonder what results you would have gotten. Yeah.
That's why we made sure to put the action figure part in there.
Yeah.
But then we found out what it was, and turns out the only thing he's missing is his cape.
Uh-huh.
And I go on eBay once a week looking to see if I can find it.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Pipe dream, but...
If you give that to me, I might have a little bit better luck.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
Dude, if I went through that, you would have heard like the most high-pitched, shrill, girly yelp. Well, I'd have been like, what?
How'd that go, Bill?
What? It was literally my top-notch story, garage sale story.
Wow, that's impressive.
That is impressive. I found some good stuff, but yeah, the
California raisins.
Yeah. Hey man, one day, Popples, California raisins, those Beanie Babies are all coming back, man. I'm telling you, I'm hoarding them all.
I found a Wile E. Coyote plush.
That's my only concern with all these pop vinyls is that they're the new Beanie Babies.
Oh, they most definitely are.
Rich and I are in agreement. We've had that discussion before. We agree with you 100%.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time before you see them clearanced. They're going to be at every Salvation Army and Goodwill.
Over the years, I've bought a couple. I very rarely buy pop vinyls.
Yeah.
They've got to be a character that I'm obsessed with. They've got to look good. You've got to be able to tell who the character is.
Yeah. Right.
Which some of those, I've bought some pops for my wife. As a lark. I bought her a couple pops from 16 Candles.
Okay. Yeah.
We have to leave them in the box.
Yeah, because they're so generic.
Right.
They're so generic.
You can't even tell Molly
white
Ringwald.
person with brown hair, white person with red hair.
Exactly. Oh, this one has a flannel shirt on. I can see that.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you now. Your wife's okay with all your collecting, all your dealing in totes everywhere?
I have one room that I have is my collection room. It's my office with my computer and everything. It's wall-to-wall figures. There are a few choice pieces in the living room.
Rich said there were totes throughout the house, so...
Only right now. Usually they're in the basement.
Okay.
But since I've got the Craigslist ad, I couldn't see bringing everything out for somebody to come over, putting them all back. So they're there now. She's okay with it because I'm occasionally bringing in a little bit of money with them.
Right.
I would have felt a little weird walking into your house and having you say, "Come to the basement." Like, okay, I'm never coming up from the basement.
I don't even like my basement. We'll just put it that way. So I wouldn't bring anybody down there.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Well, that's gonna wrap us up for this segment, I guess. I don't know who our sponsor was for that segment, but
sounded like Hasbro.
Could be Hasbro.
Could very well be. Or Kickstarter. I think they get a commission from everything that goes on there, too.
Yeah.
So, this segment was brought to you by Kickstarter. How's my game show voice, Bill? Is it any better?
Don't worry, I'll break your balls later.
Okay, off air?
Privately.
Thank you. I do appreciate that, sir.
He broke my balls and put me into retirement.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Collect Them All, episode
to the House
7.
of Dark Shadows. Well,
you can find our website on mygaragebar.com. I don't think I mentioned that all night, actually, tonight, Rich.
I know.
I'm a horrible host, so thank you for making it this far. I'll try better next time.
How did you like
If
hosting?
there is a next time.
You're out! How did you like hosting?
I'm done.
That's it? One and done. See you later.
It's okay. I mean, I had a great time, but I don't think I was great at it in the beginning, but I think I warmed up a little bit. But,
so you says.
So I'm out.
Were those crickets?
But anyway, I just want to mention a couple things while I still have the
conch.
Yeah, exactly. While I'm still steering the ship, we sold a few things for Brandon from our last episode, and we sold the Millennium Falcon, the vintage one, a Slave One. What was the other thing? Oh, and then we sold a couple of, the puzzle.
Oh.
And then a couple of Dallas's things from episode, 3, I think.
Yeah.
About time.
Yeah, some turtles.
The Technodrome finally sold.
Can't believe it.
Along with the, what else? The Mutant Module and the Foot Cruiser. So if you didn't get those because you slept on them, screw you. They're gone.
You blew it!
That's the kind of customer service we have. Screw you.
If you want it, too bad.
I think that was Mattel's business model for a while.
But yeah, we appreciate it. Anybody out there listening, thank you very much. We appreciate the everything that's going on right now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Did I say thank you? I appreciate it. Go to mygaragebar.com. Also check it out. We got a bunch of stuff going on. But right now, I think we're going to talk about stuff we've picked up. I know I made a big purchase, man.
Yeah.
I spent $75 whole dollars.
That's big for you.
It is, because I'm I don't spend a lot of money. I try not to, because just, life is tough, so I have a lot of bills and I try to pay those off. So I purchased the Shogun Warrior Boba Fett from Funko.
Look at Bill's face.
The look of disgust. Why would you buy that? No,
I think it's cool as hell. So you can check it out right now. Go on Disgusting Walmart, which we've mentioned in the past. I think this segment will be brought to you by,
as my son calls it, the Yucky Store.
The Yucky Store? No, we're getting better. We're getting better.
Oh, my
Maybe
God.
Walmart will take us on as a sponsor if we say Yucky Walmart instead of Disgusting.
The Yucky Store.
The Yucky Store where the disgusting people are.
But yeah, I figured at $70 for that thing, it's not bad. I showed it to you, Rich. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's 24 inches tall. It's
Wait, what are you
The Boba Fett.
The Boba Fett. Get your mind out of the gutter, Bill.
Never.
Here's my piece.
Oh, by the way, here's this Boba Fett.
I got Boba Fett, too.
Yeah, I'm done hosting, I think.
So,
But the other thing I purchased to just to keep us on track a little bit is the Lego minifigure series 18 that just came out.
Wait, where'd you get those? People have been asking me about
I
those at work.
pre-ordered them, actually,
okay.
and they'll be in. I tracked them this morning, and they'll be here tomorrow. So that's the way I have to do it, because I can't stand in the store anymore and just
feel
fondle.
bags.
Lurk. Yeah, fondle bags.
Now I don't even want to say that with Bill's mind in the gutter, fondling bags. You know what I'm saying?
I touch the bags and fondle them.
But yeah, I just don't want to go through that pain and
compare
strife. So what I do is, a lot of people will put them up for the pre-sale at a reasonable price, and half the time it works out where you're paying just regular retail because of the tax. You don't even end up paying the tax, so it works out fine.
These are random figures or random characters?
They're blind bags, so you can't just pick one that you want. So you got to buy, fondle them all until you find
Fondle
the right
them all.
one.
That's the name of the show. We're gonna change it. Fondle them all.
But this set, this series that came out is basically, because the very desirable figures are anything that's a costume, like a bunny or a carrot. They're dressed up as all these different the figures are dressed up in weird costumes. But this,
Rich is dying.
But this series, the figures are all in weird costumes. Like there's bricks. They're dressed up as bricks and other figures. So
a desirable carrot.
Well, it is desirable when you see it. You want to have that figure.
You want that carrot.
It's funny. And the corn on the cob. The corn on the cob as well. Don't forget about that one.
You're gonna eat that pickle?
It's funny. Now we'll get into something even funnier. Is what's your big purchase of the week, Rich?
Well, I had two real big ones. I went to the Westmoreland Antique Barn that is in lovely Westmoreland, New York.
Are you haunting that place all the time now?
Yes.
Since we went there that one time?
I'm a creeper. And guess what I bought? I bought a Garfield mug.
Did you really?
I really did. $3. But I also bought the Sprout. Remember the...
Oh, that's where you got that Sprout from?
Yeah. The Sprout that we just took a picture, and you'll see it in the
His
photo.
new friend.
My new friend, the Jolly Green Giant Sprout. Remember they came out with the what the hell was it? What the hell's that guy's name?
Pillsbury
Doughboy.
Poking your stomach.
Yeah, poking my stomach. Him. And they came out with the Keebler Elf. And of course the Sprout. So there it is.
Wait, do you have the other two?
Yes.
Oh.
Of course I do.
Who are you asking, Bill?
Well, where are they? I don't see them over here.
They're in the house. Why wouldn't I buy that for $10? Can't pay my bills. Erica's about to throw me out. Buy a Sprout.
On that note, please go to our shop, mygaragebar.com/shop.
Help me out. And yeah, it actually stacks up nicely because you got your $75 Boba Fett, and Bill got his $540 sail barge, and I got my $10.
Wait, no, I didn't get anything.
I was going to say
I just gave him some money, and I won't see anything for a year, if
it's
ever.
technically not a pickup of the week or month or whatever we're calling this segment, but
pickup of the year.
Tangible objects I brought home. I picked up the new Transformers Power of the Primes line. And then just some of the better Transformers that have come out.
Are they the smaller versions? Is that what I'm thinking of, or are they still like a decent size?
They're about 6-inch.
Okay.
They redid like the Dinobots and some of the classic characters. So I just squirreled them away for my son, hoping he likes them. And if he doesn't, I like them, so I will keep them.
Win-win.
Yeah, win-win. That's pretty much all I picked up.
He hasn't said much yet, but James is still here with us. So what about you? I'm sure as a collector, you have to have bought something recently.
My recent is the Star Wars 6-inch 4-pack guards that was over at it was like a Think Geek.
Is that the Royal Guard set?
Yeah, it had the Senate Guard, Shadow Guard, Red Guard, and then the Snoke's. Praetorian Guards, yeah. So I was actually able to get a hold of 2 of those 4-packs, so can't have just one guard.
Oh, and let it be known, I know we trashed this movie a few episodes back, but Rich told me he picked up The Last Jedi that he hated.
I did.
And,
you did too.
And I did too. I haven't watched it yet, but I did buy it. So, let it be known, we wasted our money on movies that we absolutely hated.
We both said the same thing. I don't want there to be a hole in my collection.
Yep, exactly. This is how they get you.
Mine came in the mail. I bought the digital copy early, but I bought the hard copy with it too. So we all wasted our money.
All wasted our money. Did you buy it?
I have not yet.
Okay, don't.
Well,
just buy it. You will.
I will. There were parts that I enjoyed.
Parts.
The end credits. I really enjoyed those. And then I could leave.
Theme song.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking forward to Solo, though.
Yeah?
That looks pretty good.
I thought so.
I'm looking forward to the Avengers, man. That's
that's what it's all about.
It's all about Avengers.
I'm looking forward to Rich hosting next week.
No, you're back. You're back on it.
Back on duty.
Yep.
All right.
Because I like watching Rich kind of give you some zingers and letting it fly over here. It's his chance to get a little wild and see how you rope it in. I see what he's doing.
I'm cool with it. If everybody else is cool with it, let me know.
Play cool.
73 at hotmail.com. But I think we're going to wrap it up on that note.
All right.
I don't want to get my balls broken any longer. So thanks for listening. Check out our website, mygaragebar.com. Check out our shop, mygaragebar.com/shop. And you can also get a hold of James at fromthevaulttoyshop@gmail.com. He's got a bunch of toys, some Marvel Legends, a bunch of Smurfs, wrestlers, LJN, even old ones. Check them out. And we're out of here.
Peace.
Thank you very much.
Desirable carrot.
And corn.
Don't forget to fondle the bags.
Television spreading the obsession that the ending is near. and the internet is trending Armageddon this year. All this constant paranoia's got us living in fear, with no idea that we're just prisoners here. But when the love of power's overcome by the power of love, then the world will know peace and all the wars will be done. Until that day, I'll keep on singing this song, praying that my baby safely gets home.
No more war, no more fighting. We gotta love each other. We gotta love each other. No more war, no more fighting. We gotta love each other. We gotta love each other.
Merchants of this permanent turbulence keep disturbing the peace, inciting riots and provoking violence up in the streets. Every corner of the globe, there's a war within reach, and the jaws of the machine will keep them armed to the teeth. They got their heads all filled with rhetoric, yeah, they're ready to ride. Even though we're side by side behind these enemy lines, you can say that I'm a dreamer, I'm ahead of my time, but I still believe that we can survive. Why?
No more war, no more fighting. We gotta love each other. We gotta love each other. No more war, no more fighting. We gotta love each other. We gotta love each other.
Silent partners sponsor the unconscionable, forsaking their own, making the loans while opposing sides are breaking their bones. It's been this way through every change in the throne, since Egypt was invaded by Rome. The modern incarnation lies in wait, manipulating the polls. Covert operations, population control. When the anger and frustration's finally taking its toll, I feel the empathy awaken my soul.
No more war, no more fighting. We gotta love each other. We gotta love each other. No more war, no more fighting. Yeah, we gotta love each other. We gotta love each other.
Once you change your philosophy, you change your thought